Hello students, Jai Hind, very good morning. Welcome back to our e-learning session. Jai Hind, good morning. As you all know, dear student, just now chapter 6 is going on. In chapter 6, you all know, I have explained you almost 3 life processes we have discussed. We have discussed in detail about nutrition. We have discussed about respiration. Today, dear student, we are going to disturb one of the another very important life process, which is known as transportation. Dear student, understand this word. Many times, as far as we human beings are concerned, means we complex living organism are concerned, we are utilizing some different word. Like sometime the word circulation has been utilized. The word transportation is sometimes applied for the transport of any material in plants. In human being, in complex multicellular organism, generally the word which applies, that word is known as circulation. Now my first question for you, why transportation is required? Why circulation is required? This process, dear student, is equally important in plants as well as in animal. Though in textbook there is no much explanation about transportation in plants, but we need to understand how transportation take place in plants and how I will utilize this word for us, how circulation take place in complex living organism. Try to understand, dear student. What is necessity of transportation? So suppose if we think in terms of plants, in plants also transportation is important. How? So remember, dear student, very well. Plants also need to transport various material. You all know very well one thing. Suppose I mentioned you that in plants, you all know leaf are called kitchen of the plant cell, are called the kitchen. So actually food is prepared in form of starch in leaf. That food which is prepared in leaf has to be transported to all parts of the plant. The plant require a special mechanism for the transport of this starch. You have studied in 9th standard in plant, throughout the structure of the plant there is presence of one conducting tissue. You must be remembering that conducting tissues are known as xylem. You must be knowing. Xylem does the function of transport of food material, transport of water. Sorry, phloem. I must speak the name. Phloem, one of the conducting tissue present in plant, help in the process of transport of that food, starch, prepared in the leaves of the plant. No doubt, when starch is prepared during the process of photosynthesis, it is always in solid form. Then it is converted into diluted form and then it is transported to each and every parts of the plant via that conducting tissue which you know the name phloem. Okay, dear student. So transport of food is necessary in plants, and for that it has got a special conducting tissue which you call phloem. Similarly, dear student, in plants also water needs to be transported to each and every parts of the plant, mineral to be transported to each and every organ of the plant, hormones has to be transported to each and every organ of the plant. So, dear student, try to understand a very important fact. Everything, either food material or I must say hormones, plant hormone also, you must have heard some name in ninth standard, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin. They are some of the plant hormone which are not generated in all parts of the plant. They are generated in specific region of the plant, needs to be transported to each and every organ of the plant. So for that, for the transport of water and minerals, plant has got a special mechanism. Plant has got a special tissue which I have spoken the name xylem tissue. Xylem tissue is present in the stem of the plant, major in almost all parts of the plant for transport of water and mineral. Just try to understand, dear student, a very simple process. How transportation take place in plant. The transportation take place in plant means the water and minerals along with the nutrient, mineral nutrient get transported via conducting tissue xylem. How the transportation take place in plants of water and minerals. Suppose just we try to understand from simple diagram, dear student. Understand? This is what I am going to discuss just now. Suppose in plants, which are those forces which are actually working for the transport of water and minerals from root, because you all know plant absorb water and mineral only from roots, from the earth's surface via root hairs. Okay. Now actually, dear student, what is the process taking place in plant? I am just trying to make you understand. Suppose if I draw one plant here, just try to understand it. Okay. Suppose I am just drawing the plant. This is just for your understanding. Okay, dear student. Suppose I am drawing a plant and here I am showing roots. Okay. Now actually, dear student, I want to explain you this. On root, as you know, root hairs are here. These are root hairs present on the root. Is it clear in your mind? Okay. Now here, as I told you, suppose I draw one tube-like structure here. Actually, this tube-like structure which I saw is nothing but it is xylem. This tissue can be called xylem. Okay, this is xylem, dear student. Okay, and what is the function of xylem? You know very well. Now, what happens here, as you all know, roots of the plant, understand, penetrates through the layers of the earth. Now, what is present near these roots in the earth's surface? So actually minerals in dissolved form present in the groundwater. Understand? Suppose, dear student, here is groundwater. Try to understand this. Suppose groundwater we saw here. Now this groundwater contains mineral dissolved in water, which via root hair enter into the roots. Now, as it enters into the root, dear student, if we just try to understand it this way, just try to understand. Suppose what happens here. I am showing some root hairs. Okay, see, I am showing some cells, dear student. What happens actually? Try to understand. As water enters via root hair in cell, here there are number of cell I must mention, and then xylem tissue, dear student. I am just drawing one leaf here just to make you understand, and here I am showing some stomata. Okay, suppose these are stomata. Try to understand this. Okay, I must show some structure here. Just verify. Suppose these are stomata. Okay, now what happens, dear student? Try to understand. I am showing some stomata here also. Now water enters one cell and passes to another cell via process of diffusion, that you know. If two cells are in contact of each other, water along with the dissolved mineral passes from one cell to another, then to neighboring cell, then to neighboring cell. This way, dear student, the flow of the water continues. Here I am just showing, suppose in root, if you saw number of cells, suppose one cell, two cell, three cell, four cell. Now just try to understand that water enters in one neighboring cell. Constant flow of the water continues, so it is going to create pressure on water present in this cell. Then due to this root pressure, water diffuses to next cell. Then due to root pressure, water diffuses to next cell. This way, dear student, the flow of the water continues in root. Then the water rise up in this xylem tissue. Now, dear student, one force is clear in your mind, that this is the root pressure which is pushing water upward. This water travel in this tubular structure called xylem. So root pressure is trying to get the water carry up to the stem. Understand, via xylem it reach to this height. But dear student, we also require one another type of pulling force. If the height of the plant is so much, then simple root pressure is not sufficient. You require some pulling force also. Understand, that pulling force is provided by this stomata. You all know, dear student, what happens. So during day, sunlight falls on this stomata. Sunlight. When sunlight falls on this stomata, it evaporates the water. Now what happens, dear student? Suppose I saw some cells. Now if water evaporates from one stomata, that is, you must be knowing the process known as transpiration. Now when water during the daytime evaporates from one stomata, it will try to pull water from the neighboring cell, Understand? So when it tried to pull water from neighboring cell, water in this ascent of shape is getting pulled. So now, dear student, there are two forces present. One is the force created by the root pressure, which is trying to, understand, force the water to move up. Another force is generated by the process of transpiration, which is one type of vacuum pressure is created, because water from this, when evaporates, it is going to create a vacuum in this stomata and in neighboring cell, and it will try to pull the water. So two type of forces: one, that is root pressure, which is constantly, water is entering the cell and pushing the water up in xylem, and one, that pulling force created, understand, which will try to take the water up by the process of transpiration. So this way, dear student, what happens this way? Water along with the mineral is transported to all parts of the plant. Understand? This is how transportation take place in plants. But uh, we are now targeting. So this is, you understand, how the transportation of water and mineral take place in plants. You understood this? Okay. Transportation of food, that is again, dear student, in the same way, there is a passage of phloem tissue. You must, you have studied in ninth standard the passage of phloem, consisting of phloem cell, understand, and by a process of diffusion, food transport from one cell to another cell. You understood this? So this is how transportation take place in plant. Okay, dear student, now we are targeting to understand the process of how transportation take place, means how circulation take place in complex living organism. That means we are not just talking of human being only. We are talking of all complex living organism, where circulation is a very important process. What, dear student, we need to transport, circulate in our body? So in our body, we need to transport food. You have studied that digested food, all absorbable necessary essential nutrient, is absorbed by the walls of the small intestine, which is to be transported to each and every part of the plant. So in our body, when I'm speaking our body, I'm talking of all complex living organism. Understand? Human heart we are targeting just now. So in our body, we require circulation of food, we require circulation of oxygen, dear student, because oxygen also, which is, you have studied in respiratory system, that oxygen is absorbed, understand, in blood, and via RBC, that oxygen get transported to all parts of our body. You understood? So transport of oxygen is also necessary. Similarly, dear student, a very important, transportation of waste material. That means transportation of excretory product like urine. Urine also needs to be transported, understand, up to the excretory organ, because, dear student, urinary waste is produced, understand, in every parts of our body. It is one of the, you can call, a metabolic waste, which needs to be thrown out of our body. So urine has to reach our excretory organ, kidney. then it is thrown out of our body. So for that also we required a very specific liquid medium for circulation, means for transport of all this material. And we have a greatest gift of nature, dear student, that is blood. Blood is that liquid connective tissue, dear student. You understood animal tissue in ninth standard. Blood is one of the very important liquid connective tissue in our body, which help in the transport of all this. Blood help in the transport of food material. It help in the transport of respiratory gases. It help in the transport of nitrogenous waste, that is, I must say, urinary waste. Blood help in transport of all this material. Okay, most of you all know, dear student, the structure of blood. Blood is made up of liquid. Understand matrix, that is blood plasma. In blood plasma there floats RBC, WBC and blood platelets. Now, dear student, RBC, WBC and platelets has got totally different role. RBC, red blood cells, which is full of hemoglobin, help in the transport of oxygen. You must be knowing this very well. Oxygen in blood is only transported by RBC. WBC must be present in sufficient amount in our blood. It provides immunization power to our body. They are actually the protector of your body. Blood platelets, dear student, play a very important role in the process of blood coagulation. You have heard this word? What is blood coagulation actually? When you get any injury during accident or somehow, and when, dear student, blood start flowing out of your body, actually these platelet are responsible for coagulating the blood there. Sometime during wound, any injury, you are keeping it pressed for some time and you see that the blood clot take place, means coagulation of blood take place with the help of these platelets and blood stop coming out. Now rest of the thing, dear student, nutrients, carbon dioxide, nitrogenous waste, all are present in that liquid blood plasma, a yellowish colored liquid. That blood plasma help in transport of food, that means nutrients, carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste. Rest of the material is oxygen is transported by RBC. Even, dear student, hormones in our body, so many hormones are produced. All hormones are also transported in our body via blood plasma only. Blood is very important connective tissue in our body. Understand? Now, dear student, we know very well that blood is that liquid connective tissue which help in transport of every material I have mentioned here. But which organ actually help in the process of circulating blood throughout our body? So that organ which is pumping and helping blood to flow throughout our body, that is one of the most important organ of our body. Without that we can't survive. That is our human heart. Just in the size of your fist, located, understand, located to the left side of our body, near lungs and protected in rib cage. Let us try to understand the internal structure, understand, of of human heart, dear student. Let us see. This is our human heart. Try to understand, dear student. First, let us try to understand what is actually there in our human heart. Let us try to understand. Okay. Now see, dear student. First, okay. Now it is okay. This is human heart. As you all know, our human heart is divided into four chambers. Upper two chambers are called atrium. I am showing it here. These are atrium, dear student. You can call, you are now watching from this way. So this become right part. Okay, this is right heart. This is actually, dear student, right heart, and this is left heart. Okay, when you are watching my lecture, you feel that sir is making mistake. This is right, this is left. No, dear student, you have to see this way. Lateral inversion. This is right heart and this is left heart. Okay. Now upper two chamber, dear student, you can see. This is called right atrium. This one. This is called right ventricle. This is called left atrium. This is left ventricle. First, I am just trying to explain you all parts. These two are upper chamber. Understand, right atrium, right auricle, left atrium. You can see the blue part. This one. This is right ventricle and this is left ventricle. Okay. Now, dear student, try to understand a very important fact. See how we can justify now. Okay. First, I am explaining you part. Vena cava from upper body. Can you understand this? Vena cava from upper body. What does it mean? Here it is written vena cava from lower body. You know, dear student, in all cells of our body, metabolic reaction are taking place, and on account of this metabolic process, lots of metabolic waste is produced, which is thrown in veins. You all know one thing very well. If in somewhere in primary or previous standard you understood about blood vessel, you know what is the role of artery and vein. Artery carry pure blood from heart to organ, and vein carry impure blood from organ to heart, that you have studied. But all organs of our body, understand, are attached to heart via artery. Just try to understand this very important fact, dear student. Suppose heart. Suppose this is heart and this is one organ. Try to understand. Heart supply pure blood to organ via artery. This is artery, okay? This is pure blood flowing from heart to organ. And now, dear student, impure blood containing waste produced in organ reach to heart via vein. Okay. So actually you should understand this flow first. What I said, heart to organ artery supply the pure blood, organ to heart, vein supplying impure blood. Now what happens? All organs of our body, impure blood is produced. That means the blood containing metabolic waste. This impure blood from all organs of our body get collected in two veins, One is vena cava, this is called superior vena cava, and this is called inferior vena cava. This here, this is superior vena cava and this is inferior vena cava. What this both vena cava does, both the vena cava, they does function of collecting impure blood, understand, throughout your body. This impure blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava enters here into right atrium. Try to understand this process. In right heart, only impure blood flows. So, what I said, you understood? Impure blood collected from all organs of the body, from all veins into the main vein, which is called vena cava, superior and inferior vena cava. They pour impure blood in right auricle or right atrium. Now, this impure blood, try to understand the flow of blood, dear student. This impure blood via bicuspid valve. This is bicuspid valve, dear student, which opens by force when this right auricle contract. It pushes impure blood into right ventricle. Please try to understand the flow. Impure blood from superior inferior vena cava in right auricle, then it by force, by pressure, it goes to right ventricle. Is it clear? Now what happens, dear student, when right ventricle contracts, this blood is pushed, but it is processed by this valve, that this blood will not travel back to right atrium, but it travel, see I am showing by arrow here, it goes to, can you understand it? It goes to pulmonary vein. Just try to understand. It goes to pulmonary vein. See, it goes to pulmonary artery. Sorry. Through pulmonary artery, where it goes to our lungs. Try to understand. Impure blood from right atrium goes to right ventricle. From right ventricle, it is pushed to pulmonary artery to lungs. What happens in lungs? I have already explained to you that in lung, what happens in alveoli? The exchange of gases take place. From impure blood, carbon dioxide diffuses to air, and from air oxygen diffuses to blood. That process happens in our lung. So what happens in lungs, dear student? The impure blood via pulmonary artery goes to the lungs. Here in lung, the blood gets purified, understand, by the exchange of gas. That purified blood, dear student, via pulmonary vein enters into left atrium. Please understand the flow. From left atrium it goes to left ventricle. From left ventricle it goes to aorta, and from aorta it is transported to all parts of our body. Means it is the main artery coming out of heart. Then aorta divides into so many branches, understand, which are called arteries, and each artery carry pure blood to organ. From organ, vein carry impure blood to vena cava. You understood the flow, dear student? This way the blood circulation take place with the help of heart. I am just reviving the process again. Try to understand. Impure blood collects in vena cava, which pour impure blood into right atrium. From right atrium it goes to right ventricle. Then from right ventricle it goes to pulmonary artery to lung. Where it get purified, it returns back via pulmonary artery to left atrium, then right atrium, then from aorta it is transported to all parts of our body. So this way the blood circulation take place in our body. Okay, dear student, and heart, you all know, one of the most important pumping organ made up of cardiac muscle goes on pumping our blood throughout our lifetime. It is no doubt a very slow and rhythmic, understand, rhythmic voluntary process continuously occurring in our body. You understood the flow? Now, dear student, try to understand one thing. Actually, our heart is not beating this way. Our heart is beating this way. Upper part contract, lower part expand. Means with the contraction of auricle, ventricle expand. With the contraction of ventricle, auricle expand. This way our heart beats. So actually try to understand, dear student, when right atrium get filled by impure blood, left atrium gets filled by pure blood, means the process continue. Now when both contract, impure blood comes in right ventricle, pure blood comes in left ventricle. Now when they pushes from here, impure blood goes to lung for purification and pure blood goes to aorta and transported to all parts of our body. Understand? So this way blood circulation take place in our body. In next diagram, dear student, I want to make it more clear. Remember one thing, okay? First, try to understand one thing. See, here is bicuspid valve, here is tricuspid valve. This bicuspid valve only allows one direction flow. Tricuspid valve allow both direction of flow of blood. Okay. See, dear student, in next diagram, I will just try to make it more clear. See here how the circulation take place. See, I am trying to explain you. See, this is suppose heart, vena cava. See, from body, just try to understand how the diagram explains all these things. Okay, just take an example. Impure blood collects in right heart. This is right heart. Try to understand this first. Okay, try to understand. First, let us undo that. Okay, now see, this is your right heart. Impure blood collects via, see, it is written from body via vena cava here. Then from here, dear student, it is pushed to lungs. See, can you see the lungs here? In lung capillary, the exchange of gas take place, you all know very well. And then the blood returns back via pulmonary, pulmonary vein into the heart again, and then again from here it goes to the aorta. This is the whole process, dear student. See here, from here it goes to aorta, this aorta to body, it is written here again organ. From organ, impure blood collects, come to lungs, comes to heart, then goes to lungs, get purified, comes back to heart via aorta, goes to each and every organ of our body, and again the same process continues. So this is how, dear student, the blood flow continues in our body. Try to understand this, very important. Should I explain again? From body, vena cava, understand, that brings the impure blood here. From body, just try to understand it. I am just trying to explain that. Okay, see what is happening. Just try to understand first. Impure blood from body comes to the heart, right heart, then goes to the lungs, blood get purified, returns back to left heart, through aorta goes to organ, impure blood to vena cava, comes back, goes to the lung, from lungs come back after purification, goes to aorta to organ, again this way. This way the complete blood flow continues in our body. Okay, in this way, dear student, we are able to transport blood throughout our body. So heart is one of the main pumping organ in our body. Understood? No doubt. Arteries and vein. Here also, dear student, see, just try to understand this section. Suppose this is one organ. Try to understand one thing, okay? Suppose this organ, dear student, uh, pure blood enters the organ via artery and impure blood leaves the organ via these venules. Okay, these are arterioles, these are venules. Artery, when enters the organ, divide into arterioles and then arterial capillary to supply pure blood to all parts of the organ. Then impure blood collects in venule capillary, then venule, and then vein, and then vena cava, and returns to heart. This way, complete circulation of blood take place in our body. Okay, dear student, so this is how the process of transportation take place in our body. Okay, so in today's lecture I have explained the complete process of transportation. In homework, dear student, what you are going to do from our section सवाल हमारा जवाब तुम्हारा, from that you have to write those questions which I have explained. First, transportation of water in plants, in higher plant, then transportation of food in higher plant, then structure of internal structure of human heart and blood circulation in human heart. These three questions as a short note you have to write. Try to make a good figure also. Okay, dear student, thank you very much.